Hello, viewers. Welcome to the Pillow Talk Show, and thank you so much for watching Coherent TV. I'm your host, Navle Fiona. I'm with.
Emanuela is my name. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. And
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Charles Kasozi, but most people call me Casey. So that's the common name people use.
all right. Thank you for coming to Coherent. Today, I want us to talk about the first time sex. I don't know if you can remember those days when you had your first time sex. I don't know how was it. So I want us to talk about the fear, we talk about the misconceptions, and what are the better ways can we try to advise young people, those who are already excited to have it. So what are those misconceptions first of all?
Well, you see, being a young person and getting to know something for the first time, we always get to have. There are a lot of myths, by the way, and misconceptions surrounding first time sex. Especially, there are those who say that it's going to be sweet, okay? Just like what happens in the movies. Of course, movies always make things look good. So people get to assume that first time sex is as nice as they get to see from the movies. And then there are those who, of course, are, feel that when you have it, when you have sex, you automatically get to fit into a specific kind of situation or a society. So again, culturally, sometimes they just get to be like, when you have sex, it makes you be a part of where you come from. So yeah, and being a young person, someone seeing all this may want to experience. So yes, maybe, yeah, that's what I can say.
Have you ever had sex? Oh, you're still virgin.
I've ever, yes, I've ever, yes.
So what you've tried to brief us before, is it true from your experience?
Well, it depends. Because before I had sex, I was actually being. I knew that it's sweet, okay? Because you will have. I had friends who would always be like, sex is sweet. It's this, it's that. They get to give you a lot of fantasies about sex. So, but then what I got experience was far different from what I was told. So,
Was it painful?
oh my God. It's actually a horrible experience to talk about. Uh, Being a young girl, I actually didn't have much knowledge about what sex is, what comes in with sex. Okay, so but then I heard a lot of this background noise that sex is sweet, and as I had it play in my head, and I was like, okay, so what if I also have it and get to have that experience and see how good it is? And I didn't really try it out myself. uh it happened. It was a horrible experience, yeah.
Thank you. Cassie, do you remember your first time to have sex?
I have the microphone. Thank you. um, it's quite interesting that my very first time to have sex, I was still young, very young. I think I was in primary. Yeah, we grew up in town, so our neighbors, we used to have neighbors who had mizigo, mizigo, eh?
So you're among these young children who used to play mother and
kakebe.
father.
Actually, it's called kakebe.
Mother and father. So from
Yes.
there,
So the experience was that okay, in the neighborhood where you grow up from, that's where sex starts from. Remember, you are in a town setting. There are very many rentals. So, and these people have different characters. So mine got to be, okay, well, all young, vibrant. We had a lot of curiosity, and remember we used to watch movies. Now I tell you a scenario. My friend went to the video library, got a movie. So in this movie, we watched from the neighbor's home. So in this movie, people started kissing, and then we are like, ah,
What is this?
what is this? Why are people biting each other's lips? Eh? So, and remember those libraries. They give you movies which are not censored. Eh? You watch everything. So, they reach to an extent of having sex, and we are like, okay, why aren't our parents telling us about that? Yes. Now the curiosity bit comes in. Why are they hiding it? Eh? What happens and how does it feel? So we were with our guys. We are like, okay, so time reached. We went for our kakebe. Remember, we used to watch those movies when the parents are at work. So one time we were like, good, why don't we try out what we watched yesterday? So we went, kakebe, you go and hide. Eh? So our curiosity comes in like, bro, me I'm hiding with her. You get? And then he's like, yeah, me also I'm hiding with her. And so we played kakebe. For us, we hid. And remember, okay.
And you failed to come back.
Yes, we failed to come back. But actually, it's interesting because you're doing internship that very time, because you started yesterday and then you went for internship. You don't know where the thing goes. The thing is small. It was quite interesting. So that's my experience for the first time. Yeah.
So what are those misconceptions you think young people have around the first time sex?
The misconceptions, I would say, young people have that sex is so sweet. According to my first experience, maybe my thing was small, so I really didn't get much of the sweetness bit. And you see, these days, young people have this tendency of watching movies, blue movies. Let's not run away from blue movies, because now young people have access to internet. You just go da 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 da. Then, so these young people, it's quite funny that they want to venture. Goes on internet, watches a style, so wants to come and experiment that style. So at times they try out with people who are beyond their age, and then things go other way around. Another misconception, I think, should I say parents? Like, okay, they used to tell us that having sex before marriage, having sex before completing school is a taboo. Yes. Now, parents do not prepare kids for sex. So now the curiosity bit that they're not going to play it safe because they are not prepared by the parents. So they are going to get it however way possible that they can get it. So remember, your parents do not want to talk about it, first of all. So it's you against the internet. So you don't know the measures that you supposed to take. Yeah, you just have it the way that is given to you, the opportunity that you get. You see, sometimes it's about opportunity. So you go to Kadanke, you get an opportunity, you don't have kids, whatever, then things happen.
But again, another thing is that uh, we always get to have the tendency of our children wanting to explore out of curiosity, just like you've said, and then they are those who say that when you don't have sex, like it happens in relationships, and it's very common that your partner gets to tell you that when you don't have sex with me, you don't love me. Okay? So you find that someone where like it's just your first time, and then someone tells you, if you don't give me this, then they tell you to give your sex to prove out your love for them. So again, you find someone trying to do it just to prove out a point. But in actual sense, is it really the case? Is sex one thing to prove a point to someone that you really do love them? That's another thing.
Well, Emma, I would say sex. First of all, sex is to prove a point, I should say. You're proving a point to someone that, yes, I'm into you, I'm this and this, blah, blah, blah. That's why most people give sex, uh, because they want to prove a point. Yeah.
Okay, so meaning on your side, it's not a myth, and it's reality.
Yeah, these are realities that we are shying away from. Yes. If I am your boyfriend and I come to you, okay, not even your boyfriend, my first time to meet with you, I'm like, you know what? I want to have it with you. Because that's the reality. I come into a relationship. My primary goal is sex. And ladies, I don't think you want it that way, because when you tell a lady that I want to have sex with you, they feel offended. But but that's the reality that we are
We're
shying
looking
away
at young
from.
people for this case.
Well, well, it's quite interesting unless we put an age bracket that
So, what do you think is the right age for someone to have sex?
personally, this is a personal opinion. I think the right age is 15. 15,
15.
yes. Because by 15, I think you've passed through primary
Excuse
7.
me.
Yeah.
You're talking about 15, but
Uh,
then, 15, according to our law, our constitution of Uganda, 15 is still a minor. So we consider someone to be 18, okay, to be at that stage of where they can be able to make decisions on their own. So 15 is still a minor.
And we assume that a person who is under 18 years old, that person is raped.
eh,
Yeah.
Now,
And defiled.
okay. Now, you see, there is a lot of change in the society, how people used to perceive things in the past and how people are perceiving them right now. So we tend to shy away from reality, and we tend to put, how should I bring it out? We tend to put a bracket that this is the right bracket to have sex. But the reality is, you can even find a 12-year-old girl having sex with someone who is above, let's say, 60. So why should we put a bracket? Why don't we just, let's say, why don't we just prepare this generation than shying away from the reality? Yeah.
Emma, what are those signs that someone, maybe what are those signs someone should know that this person is ready to have sex?
Well, I can't talk about specific signs that are someone really has to know. But of course, the body is always wanting. For the case of young people, that stage of puberty always gets to disturb them a lot. It makes them feel like their bodies are ready, yet, you know, they don't know the consequences that come around with that. But then most times around the puberty stage is when these young people get to be actively, they want to explore, they want to know things, and it's it's really something that we always have to look into and get to really talk to these young people, because if we don't, then they may end up getting involved into things that they, at the end of it all, it may not really be good for them and then also people around them.
All right, Cassie, do you think there are some of the signs that show someone is ready to have sex? Or it's different?
Well, I should say that the signs are there. Yes.
What are those signs?
Well, I'm not going to utter them out, but there are certain signs that you notice. Casey wants something. According to the way you see him, you see there are characteristics that we have. Let's say for a guy, you can easily notice you look at the guy and you're like, oh no, Avudeko, you get. And for ladies, there are also signs and their characters do change when they want to have sex. Yes, you see this person is so this is a person who used not eh,
To hang around with men.
yes, like close, very close to them, and then out of the blue you find this lady, she's in your beards, so you get to know that she's she wants something.
So you're trying to mean that whenever we see girls trying to position themselves around men, that is one of the signs that
And
the
by
body
way,
maybe is demanding.
just when you talked about when I talked about puberty, you see that those times were like more so when a girl is about to menstruate or even after. There are those tendencies where like a girl she wants to be around boys, you know, she gets to be hyped. Anything she is, you know,
They are extremely happy.
excited. Okay, they're excited, and so yes.
All right, thank you very much. Our viewers, we are still on the Pillow Talk show and we are still talking about the first time experience of having sex. Let's go for a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back from that break. Before we were talking about the experiences these guests of mine they had during their first time sex. They talked about painful sex, and one of them talked about having his first time sex while in primary through hide and seek. We also talked about the right age when should young people have sex. We also talked about the misconceptions around the first time sex. To go back to the experiences, Emanuela, during your first time sex, was it a protected one or it was non-protected?
It was completely not protected.
So how sure were you that you weren't going to get pregnant or infected with the STIs?
Of course, I wasn't informed. I didn't really have any idea of how it was going to be like. And more so for my case, it wasn't with consent. Okay, it wasn't with consent, so it was just it was a weird experience, and just that I didn't consent to it.
You were
So-
proving love.
No, I wasn't proving love. I wasn't. So,
And eventually?
do you know your first time having sex being like someone just forcing you into having sex? When you've not consented, when you're not even ready, when there's no lubrication, just imagine all that. So
To
yeah,
take you back, at what age were you?
I was 17.
17.
17.
And you didn't have any information about the condoms or any way of protecting yourself?
No, I wasn't. You know, like I told you, all that I had in mind was, parents used to tell us, you're not supposed to have sex before finishing your school. You're supposed to have sex when you're married. So I had that at the back of my mind, and I found myself, in such a kind of act. The truth is that, you know, I wasn't really ready for that. So I didn't have much information about sex. But then when it happened, I was completely not knowledgeable about anything. Yeah.
Bamulumba chimafia.
How does peer pressure or media shape expectations around sex? Because I remember, okay, when you see some of our friends, or when we watch social media, or when we be on media, someone can tell you when you have sex, it's going to be like this and this and this. But into real life, after trying it out, things are different. So how does it shape expectations around sex?
Well, first of all, media. As I was growing up, there was a tabloid with a section of Mr. Haina. Eh? So, whenever they used to buy newspapers at school,
You would look for that section of Mr.
that
Haina.
section, so it would really make you imagine those illustrations they used to put there. So, and when it comes to friends, the peer pressure, you see, these people, there is a way they sugarcoat the words. So a friend can come to you, Nagamba, I tell you what, my guy, last night I was in heaven. And yes,
And you start beating
uh-huh,
pictures.
you're
Which kind of
imagining
heaven is
which
she
kind
talking
of
about?
heaven. And the guy is like, man, today I had it. It was very, very interesting and sweet. Man, it feels like heaven. So, in the back of your mind, you're like, if he went to heaven, me too, I want to go to heaven. So, those components really influence to have those thoughts around it.
Berima,
Just you.
what is your say about it?
Well, just like Casey has said, media has a lot media has a lot of influence around first time sex. Because just like what he has said, movies especially, when movies they actually they romanticize sex a lot. They make it feel like something which is very simple, very easy, something nice. So just watching at a movie or a romantic movie, you get to have that feeling like, what if I try this? It looks to be simple. It seems easy. So you find someone wanting to experiment what he or she has watched. Then also given, friends get to they always love to share the experiences. I had a group of friends where someone comes in and tells you the experience of how sex tasted like, how they felt. And they get to exaggerate the whole situation. That makes you be curious. You really want to see if it is going to be the same thing with you. So friends really have a lot. They contribute a lot when it comes into young people wanting to experiment first time sex.
What should young people know before deciding to have sex? Yes.
Well, I'll say one thing and people you need to know is get to have basic information. Knowledge is power, by the way. These days we find it so hard. We feel talking about sex to our young children is a taboo. Yet it's not. When you talk to a child about this, you are rather giving them knowledge. You're giving them information. By the time this child gets involved, the child would have remembered, I was told I need to use condoms. I need to do this. I need to get an emergency contraceptive. Because you're not going to control children from having sex completely, no. We talk about abstinence, we talk about being faithful, we talk about using condoms, okay? But which one of the three will a child go by? But then a child might even choose not to go with any of the three.
Yeah.
So what happens? And I'm really urging our parents out there to be so close with their parent, to be so close with their children, and be able to have time, to create time to talk to their children about sex. Well, another thing is that for us girls, during ovulation and menstruation, there are always times where like you get to feel so high, you get excited, unnecessary smiles. That time is actually very dangerous for us girls. So I want my young girls out there to know that when you are in when you're in your ovulation or menstruation, you have to be so careful, because those are the times that you really get to be excited and you might want to be around boys. It will not be for all, but then some may get to experience that. So that is another time that you have to really be careful. And now another thing I really want, at schools, teachers, you also have a responsibility. The senior women teachers, why are you not talking to the girls? You need to talk to the girls, and be their parents at school. Don't let them just be learning things on their own or learning things from their friends. Then as well, all the community people, the community gatekeepers, it's all our responsibility to ensure that we don't let our children to get to explore things on their own. We rather give them that knowledge, that information that they need to make informed decisions. Yes.
Thank you, Anna. Yes, Cassie. What should young people know before deciding to have their first time sex?
Sex is a personal initiative. Before even bringing in the community, it's your personal decision. I think young people who are going to, or who are yearning, or who are going to have first time sex experience, they should be prepared. In this, I mean, as you're seeing these brands here, okay, condoms are associated with a lot of stigma when it comes to buying, but at least think about your life first, and you're like, I must have a condom, because this is the first protection that you get. Instead of falling a victim for unwanted pregnancy, STI, whatever, you buy your condom and have it with you. Break the stigma, because young people, I don't know if Emma, for you can go freely to a drug shop and buy a condom, but
those days I would not, but now I can openly go to a drug shop or a pharmacy and request for a condom.
Exactly.
And by the way, the healthcare providers out there, you also support these young people when they come in for condoms. Yes.
Yeah, so these young people should make these products their friends. Kiss condom. You go to a drug shop and you're like, "Mpa kiss condom." It's actually mpa kiss. You get. It's not stigmatizing, well packaged, and yeah.
Maybe you can also advise these people selling these products not to stigmatize these young people, because when someone looks at a young person asking for a condom, this person will be like, what are you going to use it for? Yeah, you children of these days, you're spoiled. You're not supposed to be here. Go away.
Yeah, well, that's actually another thing that we need to look at as healthcare providers. When someone reaches out to you, just know that they need support. Give them the support they need instead of
Chasing them out.
yes, or maybe making them feel bad. Yeah.
Actually, I also think that these products, I think there should be a well-arranged place that when you go to this section, you will pay from there. It's a bit private, and because many people, even these abasaji abakulu, they fear buying condoms. Now, what brings in the stigma? First of all, let's look at the supermarkets. they put them at the counter, so it's quite challenging, but not for me. For me, I can buy over, even at 8 a.m. in the morning, I can buy. But these young people are still having that stigma. So I think there should be a specific place, at least in a supermarket or in a drug shop. Let's say it's a bit private, that you pay from there, and then I'm good to go.
I think we just need to empower these young people so that they be, you don't have to fear because it's your life.
Yeah.
It's your life, and one biggest thing is just to empower them.
So, if someone regrets about their first time experience in sex, how can they move forward in a positive way?
Well, I'll say talk to someone you trust. We have healthcare providers, especially at Coherent. You have a toll-free helpline, which is actually good for young people. Reach out to someone, talk to them, and get to share your experience with them, because most times young people, for especially those who end up having bad experiences, because after sex, not everyone has a good experience.
For example, there are
Others
those
get
ones
to
who are
be,
raped, defiled.
yes, others get to be excited, others get to be, they regret, they get to be depressed actually, and so others even get to develop the suicidal. At the end of it all, they get to feel so much suicidal. So what do I mean to say? Find someone you can trust to talk to. You can reach out to the Coherent, what is it called, anti-khaki toll-free helpline. Talk to someone, reach out to a counselor, explain yourself to them. You can, if your parents are approachable, just that some parents make themselves not to be approachable, but again, you can reach out to a parent and share with them. You can reach out to maybe a religious leader and share with them. There's sometimes some of them also have stigma towards young people getting involved in such kind of activities before marriage. But all I can say is support them.
Thank you very much. Cassie, is there anything more you would like to elaborate before we end up this show?
Well, I would like to call upon the young ladies mostly out there. Please make these products, condoms, your friends, because
Why
we
young
are,
ladies?
yes, why young ladies? There is a tendency that ladies do not want to use condoms. There is no lady you would find and she's fine with you come with a condom and she's fine with it. So I would love to request ladies out there to make these products your friends, because even if you go to a pharmacy, you're not going to carry it on the head that I've bought a condom. But people will know that you had sex and got pregnant because your stomach is out there, it's showing, you get. So, but if you use condom, no one will know. Yeah.
Well, just to add on what Casey has said, young girls, we let's take the power in our hands. You can come with a condom yourself and give it out to your boyfriend or your partner and tell him, we have this, let's go by this, because sometimes these men come, someone may come to you without a condom. So how safe are you going to be around them? So I want to encourage our young girls out there. It's not really a must, but in case you find yourself in a situation where you really, the body is wanting, you can walk with a condom. Okay, walk with the condom. One of the days that we used to be backwards, or we used to just be down. So it's time that we we stand up on our feet and be empowered. You can move with the condom and be on top of the game. And then as well, you see, most young people get to complain about the condoms being having bad scent. But for the case of the Kiss
They
condoms,
even
we
talk
have
about
flavored
that
condoms.
they don't fit them.
Yes, we have the flavored condoms. We have the Kiss passion fruit. We have Kiss chocolate. We have Kiss strawberry. They are scented. Okay, they have nice scents. So tell me, what is going to stop you from using condoms when now people have invented and they've added in flavors to make you have pleasure? Yes.
Our topic today has been more of the first time sex, and we've talked about the misconceptions around the first time sex. Our guests have shared their experiences, what they knew before, and what the reality was. Our parents, the healthcare providers, about having stigma around sex. To our viewers, kindly, if you're having any comment or any question, you can use our Coherent social media handles and forward that question to us, or a feedback will be answered back. Thank you very much for tuning on Coherent TV. Please stay it on. Bye-bye.